The laugh was a sharp, tiny knife, and when it cut, I didn't bleed. I just started counting how many secrets she had left to lose. The floor of the Galleria Mall was bright, polished marble. It was Saturday, and the whole city was inside, spending money and looking good. The light hurt my eyes. I was standing in the center of the big jewelry store, the one with the velvet ropes, and I felt smaller than a pebble. This was the retention wall. This was the place where my cousin, Keisha, always made me feel like nothing. Keisha stood next to me, taller and louder, wearing a jacket that cost more than my whole wardrobe. Her friends, Crystal and Dion, were giggling. They were waiting for me to talk, but I knew my words were just air to them. I didn't panic. My heart was quiet, waiting for the moment of fire. Keisha held up a tiny, glittering silver chain. "Naomi, look at this. It's so cute. Maybe you can afford this. It's only $40. For your new job." Her eyes were not kind. They were bright with cold, hard judgment. Her smile was wide, full of teeth. She didn't just want me to buy something cheap. She wanted everyone in the expensive store to hear her say it. She wanted the shame to stick to my skin like glue. I didn't move. I didn't snatch the chain. I just felt the weight of the air, the coldness of the marble, and the history of our broken family bond. I looked at Keisha's face. She was waiting for the apology, the explanation, the tiny defense that would prove her right. She wanted me to say, "Yes, I'm working hard for every penny. My family is struggling." But that was her lie, not mine. I just watched her, letting the silence hang heavy between us, knowing that my own, bigger truth was about to fall like a mountain. Keisha and I were always together. We grew up across the street from each other in the big city. But as we got older, the streets we walked on felt different. Keisha's family was all about the look. They bought the newest cars, even if they couldn't pay for them. They threw the biggest parties, even if they had to borrow the money. Keisha was taught that your value was what people saw on the outside. My family was different. My parents had built a successful business in property years ago, but they hated the noise of money. They drove a beat-up old truck. We lived in a solid, quiet house that looked normal. They taught me that our value was what we built on the inside. They didn't want the spotlight. They wanted peace. This peace was Keisha's weapon. She saw our quiet life and read it as weakness. She saw the old truck and called it poverty. She told everyone at school that my parents were factory workers barely making rent. She used this lie to feel taller, to make her own flashy life seem better. Every time she asked me, "Why don't you buy new clothes, Naomi? Is money tight?" I just shrugged. My parents told me, never defend the truth to a liar. Let their lies be their own heavy blankets. But I was tired of the heavy blanket. I was tired of the sneers from Crystal and Dion, who were Keisha's loyal guards. They laughed at my plain sneakers and my simple jacket. They thought their expensive bags made them better people. The biggest sting was always about my grandmother, Mama Rose. Mama Rose was the heart of our family, the one who taught us to be proud. She passed away last year. My parents had been working on a big project in her memory. Keisha said my family was too poor to even afford a proper grave marker, so they were waiting for a sale. This was the line Keisha crossed. Today, in the jewelry store, watching Keisha hold up the cheap chain, I felt the memory of Mama Rose stand up inside me. It was time to fight for the truth. It was time for the quiet to become thunder. Keisha didn't put the chain down. She walked over to the checkout counter, where the cash register made loud beeping sounds. "I'm buying this for you, Naomi," Keisha said, loud enough for the saleswoman and the two rich women looking at rings to hear. "It's a little gift. You can wear it to your new job. It'll make you look professional." Crystal and Dion snickered, hiding their mouths behind their hands. The saleswoman looked confused. The rich women looked away, uncomfortable. The shame was not mine. It was all hers. She was spending $40 to buy an image of superiority. She was investing in my humiliation. I reached out my hand and gently pushed the cheap chain back toward her. My voice was low, so soft it felt like a secret between us. But everyone was listening now. "No, thank you, Keisha." "Why not?" she pressed, her voice rising, wanting the drama. "It's a gift. Don't you want nice things?" I took a deep breath. I looked her straight in the eye, and the quiet girl in the gray hoodie disappeared. I was just Naomi, ready for the counter-secret. "I have nice things," I said, simple and final. "Just not $40 things." Keisha laughed again, harder this time. "Oh sure, Naomi." "Like what? Your old truck? That hole in your backyard?" Crystal and Dion roared with laughter. They were ready for the final, easy kill. I didn't flinch. I let the laughter die. Then I deployed the counter-secret. I looked past Keisha, focusing on the ring display, like I was thinking about something miles away. "Actually," I said, my voice calm, "my mom just sent me the final photos. The tile is in." I told her the Carrara marble in the master suite looks much better than the quartz. She finally agreed. Keisha stopped laughing. Crystal stopped giggling. Keisha's eyebrows pressed together. "What are you talking about? What tile?" "The tile for the villa," I said, still looking away, acting like this was boring, everyday information. "You know, the one in the Hamptons. My dad wanted to check on the landscaping next weekend." The word Hamptons hit the air like a stone dropped in still water. The two rich women by the ring display suddenly looked over. The saleswoman paused. Keisha's face went soft and gray, like old paint. She tried to recover, her voice shaking. You don't have a house in the Hamptons. Your parents drive that old rust bucket." "Stop lying, Naomi." "Oh, it's not a house, cousin," I said, finally looking at her, a slow, real smile spreading across my face. "It's the villa, the big one, the one on Willow Creek. It took them almost 2 years to secure that property. You know, with all the zoning laws for historical land. It was complicated." The complexity of the words, Carrara marble, zoning laws, historical land, was too heavy for Keisha to carry. Her friends, Crystal and Dion, looked confused. They knew the Hamptons. They knew the Willow Creek area was where the super rich lived. Keisha looked at me, looking for the lie. She couldn't find it. My calmness was too solid. This was the first twist. I didn't correct her lie about my poverty. I simply revealed a truth so large it swallowed her lie whole. The moment was perfect. I didn't wait for her to speak. I walked out of the store. I didn't go home. I walked the mall slowly. I knew the silence I had left behind would be a storm. Keisha would try to text me. She would try to prove I was lying. But I was already 2 steps ahead. Keisha had always loved to gossip about her own luxury. She posted every single purchase, every dinner, every vacation detail. She created a perfect, bright, expensive life online. But I knew the reality. My mom, who manages the properties, handles all the local real estate data. She had access to the financial records of every major property owner in our extended family, including Keisha's dad. I knew that Keisha's family was not just struggling to keep up appearances, they were sinking. They had taken out huge loans to fund Keisha's flashy lifestyle and her dad's failed investment ideas. I found a quiet bench far from the jewelry store. I pulled out my phone and scrolled past Keisha's recent photo of her new designer bag. I sent a single, simple text message. Not to Keisha, not to her friends. I sent it to Auntie Lena, Keisha's mom's sister. Auntie Lena was the family's biggest gossip, the one who spread news faster than fire. She also cared deeply about family honor. My text was simple. Auntie Lena, I am so sorry about Uncle Marcus losing the house. Keisha told me today at the mall. I hope you guys are okay. I didn't wait for a reply. I simply planted the seed. Keisha's family wasn't losing their house yet, but they had put it on a secret fast-track sale to cover their debt. They were desperate to sell before the rumor got out. Keisha and her friends had no idea. Only the parents knew. When Auntie Lena received that text, she wouldn't question the source, me. She would question the timing. Why did Keisha tell Naomi now? Auntie Lena would instantly call Keisha's mom to demand an explanation. The secret that was supposed to stay quiet until the sale was final was now exploding in the family chat. Keisha's lie about my poverty had created a vacuum. And my counter-secret, the quiet news about her family's actual struggle, was rushing in to fill it. I waited 1 hour. When I finally checked my phone, I didn't have a text from Keisha. I had a text from Keisha's mother, Aunt Renee. The text was a long string of angry, broken words, ending with, "Why would you tell anyone about the sale? You told Keisha?" I knew it was over. The family storm had begun. Keisha's parents would assume she had been bragging about their troubles, or crying to me for help. Keisha would have to explain how I, the cousin she called poor, knew her deepest, most humiliating secret before her own mother-in-law. I walked back toward the front entrance of the mall. I saw Keisha and her friends running out of the jewelry store. Keisha looked frantic, her expensive jacket bunched up, her eyes glued to her phone. She looked like a ship sinking in a fast storm. She didn't even notice me. She was rushing to cover the lie about the Hamptons villa, but she was too busy answering her mother's texts about the house sale. The beautiful, polished mask she wore for the world was cracking everywhere. I knew the chaos was deserved, but I still needed the final, powerful truth to land. I pulled out my phone one last time. I opened my cloud drive. I shared a document link with the entire school's community page, the page Keisha used to spread her gossip. The document wasn't a mean post. It wasn't a photo of Keisha's debt. It was the official press release from the City Council Planning Commission. The release announced the final approval and groundbreaking ceremony for the Mama Rose Community Center. The center was a huge, beautiful, impossible place, designed for after-school tutoring, art classes, and community healing in our urban area. It was fully funded by a private donation. And the address? It was the exact location I mentioned in the jewelry store, Willow Creek, Hamptons. The villa wasn't a luxury vacation home for my rich parents. It was a massive, historic property my parents had bought and spent 2 years renovating and converting into a community center in honor of my grandmother, Mama Rose, the woman Keisha had said we couldn't afford to bury properly. My family's wealth wasn't used for Carrara marble in a private master suite, but for Carrara marble in the main hall of a place for everyone. The final, total truth was this. Keisha's family used their money for show and debt. My family used their money to build a legacy of quiet, powerful help. The community page immediately exploded, not with mean gossip, but with shock, pride, and gratitude. Naomi's family bought the Willow Creek property? They are naming it after Mama Rose. Keisha said they were poor. Keisha's lie was not just exposed. It was destroyed by the sheer, beautiful, humble reality of my family's work. I walked out into the busy street. Keisha was standing by her mom's car, crying, not because of the presidency she lost, but because the truth about her own house was now public family knowledge. She looked up and saw me. This time there was no anger, no smile, just a blank, deep pain. I didn't speak. I didn't need to. The story was finished. I raised my hand, not in a wave, but in a gesture of finality. I turned and walked toward the bus stop, the old truck waiting for me. I felt the powerful hum of the city, the noise of thousands of people moving and working. I got into the old truck next to my dad. He smiled. "Ready to go home, Naomi?" "Yes, Dad," I said. ready to go home. I looked at my simple, quiet clothes, my plain sneakers, and my old truck. They were not signs of poverty. They were signs of freedom. I was free from the chains of showing off. I was free from the pressure of appearances. My cousin tried to shame me with a lie, but I fought back with a truth so big it didn't just hurt her. It saved my own dignity and honored my grandmother's memory forever. My revenge was not loud. It was building something lasting, something real. And that was the strongest comeback of all. The end. If this story of silence and strength hit you hard, hit the like button and drop a comment telling me the most valuable thing your family ever taught you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss the next one.